Hi, I'm Lauren Fenty, founder and curator of the Bargain Bead Box, and today we are going to be making a necklace from the January 2024 collection, A Galaxy of Gems. So this is a double strand sodalite necklace. Well, it's a single to double strand using the pendant and a lot of the beads from the box. We've got some little bail beads to make that transition for us. It's going to be fun. So let's get started. So for this box, we're going to mainly be using items from the Bargain Bead Box collection. Those items are the 8mm sodalite rounds, the 6mm blue goldstone rounds, the 10mm bead frames, the 4mm spacer beads, 4mm crystal bicones, and the sodalite pendant. We have a couple findings that are not in the box and some wire. First of all, we're using 0.45mm tiger tail wire. This is wire 589 in the Bead Box Bargain Store. This is Find 1105. These are little brass crimp beads in a gold finish. And I just grabbed ring 125, which is a mix of sizes in jump rings, but I recommend probably either 4 or 6mm for this. And then these are Find 2134, and they are a clamshell bead tip. My favorite way to finish a design. And finally, Space 1360. Now these are going to be your bail beads that we are using to connect the strands of our necklace. So let's get started. All right. Okay, I've also decided I'm going to finish this off with TOG 703 when it's done. And then we're ready to go. So to get started, we're going to be making the second strand, the sort of double strand with the focal on it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get one of my little clamshell bead tips here, and I'm going to open up a tiny bit, and I'm going to string it on my wire like that. And now I'm going to string a crimp bead like that. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is squish this crimp bead. Good and squished. All right, now I'm going to trim the wire off. Trim off just up to the tip so that the crimp bead is at the very end. I'm going to pull this clamshell back. I'm going to start to close it a little bit. Then I will finish closing it with my straight nose pliers. And just, you want to be a little careful because you don't want to like squish it down all the way. You want it to still look like a little bead on the end. That's all there is to that. So now we can get stringing. So first of all, I'm going to use this 4mm round to start us off. And I always cut my wire a little longer than I think it's going to need to go, just because I'd rather have a couple inches extra than have to restring it. So next goes a 6mm blue goldstone bead. And now I'm going to do an 8mm sodalite and another 6mm goldstone, followed by another spacer. So we've got this nice little pattern here. Now this is where it gets fun. We're going to be using these bead frames, and inside each bead frame, for a little bit of motion, I'm going to put 2 of our spacer beads. So we're going to start out by stringing through one hole of the bead frame, but not both. Leave the top hole, leave it out of the top hole. String on both of these, and this is a lot harder away from my face. Here we go. All right. We've got these on there. Now we're going to bring this very carefully back up to the end. Pull it back through, not the spacers, but just the bead frame, so you can line it up and get it back through that bead frame, like so. So there we go. Now we've got 2 more bead frames. We're going to do that too, as quickly as we can here. All right, so now we're going to get ready to put on the focal. We're going to do 1 more spacer bead, 1 more goldstone bead, and now we're going to string on a bail bead I like to surround the bail beads because these are quite large hole with a spacer on either side to kind of fill that hole and keep it nicely in place. So that is what we're going to do. All right. And then when we are done with it, that's where we're going. This is where we will attach our focal. Okay, so now we're just going to repeat the pattern inverse on the other side, starting with a blue goldstone and then a spacer. And now we're going to do the other 3 bead frames, each filled with 2 spacer beads. So you're going to do through the bottom hole, string your spacers on, and then pull it back and go through that top hole. Once more, we're going to repeat that 2 more times. All right, and we will repeat the blue goldstone and sodalite bead on this side as well. All right, so this beaded portion is finished. We are going to finish it off with another clamshell bead tip, but in order to do that, I'm going to open the tip up all the way so that we can really get up close to it and pull our crimp bead a little bit tight. And I do like this pattern because it shows some movement in those little 4mm beads. It makes me think of planets in orbit. It's just kind of fun. All right, so here is our crimp bead going on now that we have the clamshell on. Okay, and now we are going to squash this crimp bead as close to the clamshell as we can get without getting all our beads like totally on top of each other. All right, so we've trimmed right next to the crimp bead, and now we're going to close up the clamshell. I like to get it started a little bit like that so it's easier to grab your pliers. And again, you really don't have to squeeze like incredibly hard. These things they're very malleable and they're easy to shift out of place or leave little plier marks on. So you just want to get them closed enough, and the jump ring will do the rest of the job for you. All right, here we go. Okay, so now it is time to attach our pendant right here. So we've got this sodalite pendant, and now these were a closeout lot. Yours might look a little bit different than this one. The triangles were the most common, but there are some other shapes too. They'll all look great with this pattern though, so whichever one you got, it'll work. All right, so I'm gonna take my 6mm jump ring and I'm gonna open it up a little bit. And again, when you open jump rings, you wanted to remember you're not trying to pull them up, you're trying to pull them towards you. This guy's a little stubborn. There we go. All right, you don't want to uncurl the curl or you will never match those ends up again. All right, so we've got the pendant on the jump ring. Now we're just gonna take this little loop on the bail bead right there, and we're gonna string it on too. And we're going to close the ring. And there we go. Okay, so there's that. Now we are going to use two of our smaller jump rings over here and attach the ends on our clamshell tips to 2 more bail beads. So again, these are just little bails. They've got a little loop on a smooth rondelle bead. And there are all kinds of varieties of bail beads, and you can use really any you like for this design as long as they've got the loop on them. All right, so now we're just going to open these up. I'm not using these. They do not have the grip strength that I need. Here we go. Get our big grippers. That's more like it. All right. I'm going to string on the bead tip right through the holes there. And then we're going to string on the bail bead. And now we're going to grab the end of it and we're going to close it back up. There we go. We're going to repeat the same thing on the other side. Did not get a good grip on it there. There we are. So we've got our clamshell bead tip that's going on the jump ring. Except these pliers are too big. Then we've got our bail bead once again. Get that all the way down. Ay, ay, ay. Some days are just like that. Here we go. See if we can get this jump ring to cooperate. All right. So this piece is done, and this is going to be the piece, your little pendant strand. See, there you go. And I love the motion that just the bead frames give it here. You've got your bail ends ready to attach to your necklace. You've got your pendant in the center, and that is finished. So now we're going to make the longer strand, and we'll attach this to it when we're ready. So I've got another strand of wire, and I don't know about you, but when I'm working a design like this, I like to leave both ends open so that I can adjust more easily on either side and make sure I have my second strand hanging the way I want it to hang. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to start in the very center. And the very center is going to be formed of 3 8mm sodalite beads. 1, 2, and 3. All right, and then on either side of them, we are going to do a crystal bicone, followed by a spacer bead, with another crystal in the center. And after that, we're just going to put 3 more sodalite beads on either side. And then we'll be just about ready to string on our center strand. So this is going to be the pattern above the pendant, and we're going heavy on the sodalite to coordinate with it nicely. He thought it could get away. Huh. No. All right, so after this, we're just going to do one more repeat on either side of the crystal spacer crystal pattern there. And same on the other side. All right, so now we are ready to string our bails on. So I'm going to, again, put a 4mm round on because I like how those hold the bails in place. Then we're going to take one end of this piece here, and we're going to string that on. And now we're going to add another 4mm bead to keep it in place. And it looks a little messy now, but it'll look nice in a second. And when you're making a double strand, you want to make sure that the strand that's going to be hanging down is a little bit longer than what's going to be in the middle, because you want it to sit nicely and to kind of have some drama. If they're like right smushed up against each other, it's just not going to be as much interest when you're wearing the piece. Not as much visual interest there. So we want some length differential. And you can feel free to play around with the pattern and make it look however you want. So I'm doing another 4mm bead, and then the other side of the veil, and then one more 4mm bead. If I can find the hole, there we are. Okay, so now we've got our centerpiece. Now it's time to bead up the sides, and you can absolutely, there we are. You can absolutely make it any length that you want it to be. This design works really well as a choker or as a longer length. It's totally up to you. I'm going to go ahead and get started with another bicone. And so for up the sides, we're going to do kind of a bicone, goldstone, bicone, spacer, sodalite, spacer pattern. That's all there is to it. It's going to be very simple up both of the sides here. When we get closer to the back of the neck, we can change it up a little bit. I love the sparkle of 4mm bicones, but I have very sensitive skin, and I don't always love the feeling of the sharp bit in the middle. I mean, it's not like sharp, but it can be pokey in the middle, just the facet line there. So what I usually do is I put it with a larger round bead, which means it doesn't ever touch your skin. That's just a personal preference thing for me. Most people probably don't mind, but when I make designs, I like to mix the bicones with larger round things that feel nice on my neck. All right, so we're going bicone, and then a round, and then another bicone, goldstone round in the middle, and now we're going to go spacer, sodalite bead, and another spacer. And I'm going to repeat this pattern probably 4 times on each side, just like the way it is here. So it'll take me just a second and we'll get that all beaded up. All right, now that we have finished beading this up both sides, which I'm sure you can do just as quickly as we have here, we are ready to finish it off. So first of all, you get to decide how long you want it. From this point on, since it's pretty much going to be in the back of the neck, I am just going to string a few goldstone beads and a few bicones. Probably alternate them like that. Just make a fun little pattern. I'm going to make mine a little bit closer to choker length this time because I think it'll be really fun as a short choker. And this is one of those things where if you're really organized, you probably know exactly how long you want it to be and you can measure. Whereas if I was doing this at home, I would literally just be holding it up to my neck and be like, is this long enough? Do I need more beads? How do I like this? That's just the way that I tend to do the things. So, all right, almost done. I'm going to finish with, let's see how many I did, 5. Finish with a gold round. And now I'm going to go ahead and do another clamshell cover and crimp bead. And if you prefer to finish it with a wire guardian and a crimp bead cover, you absolutely could go that route. I'm not as good as at that route. I find these guys a little easier to work with, so that's what I'm doing today. That, and I'm out of crimp covers in gold, so wasn't really an option for today's video. Time to restock. All right, again, I just strung the clamshell on, strung the crimp bead. We're gonna trim the wire off at the edge of the crimp bead, and we're gonna come back and just get that closed there. So I've almost closed it. We'll just finish it up. Give it a little gentle squeeze. Perfect. Time to do the other side. And now we're only working off one end, so I don't have to worry about dropping it quite so much, which is always a plus. And some designs I do tend to start from one side and go to the other. Oh, I just forgot my crystal, didn't I? I sure did. But again, when I'm working with something like a multi-strand, I like to leave it open until I at least know how I want this bit to go, because in my prototype I unstrung and restrung this pattern quite a few times trying to get the length where I wanted it. It's just a little more convenient for me personally. Right. And we're just gonna go blue goldstone and then bicone for a total of 5 repeats to match the other side. But again, you can do as many or as few as you would like. It's all about what makes you happy. All right. Is that 5? Yes. Yes, that is 5. Now it's time for this guy. Here we are. All right. And to close this necklace off, let's see. Need one more clamshell bead tip, which I'm again going to kind of flatten open so that it makes it a little harder to close equally, but I find it much easier to work with the crimp bead when you do that. And now the crimp bead goes on. And now we pull it kind of tight-ish. Again, you don't want your beads like all on top of each other, but you don't want the wire to show a ton either. And give it a good squeeze. All right, we're gonna trim off the wire and close this back up. And that just, it gives it a nice professional finish while also hiding any pokey wire ends, which nobody wants an itchy necklace. This is not fun. Okay, so now we've got the clasp, and for this necklace I am using a slightly larger magnet clasp than the ones that came with the box. They're great for bracelets or for a lightweight necklace. I used them in my last design, but for this one I wanted one that was just a little bit thicker. And you can use, again, any kind of clasp that you want. So we're going to take our jump rings here, and all we're going to do is open them up. Forgot I don't like those pliers for this. There we go. Open them up. Slide on bead tip. And then the magnet clasp. Now, something I have learned working with magnet clasps is that they will try, once you've got your pliers up here, they will try to jump off the ring. So I always grab the end with the magnet clasp first. Otherwise it's gone, and yeah. Oh goodness. All right, we are just about finished. Get that closed. And now what we have to do is attach the other end. Then we will be all done. Maybe. There we are. This jump ring is giving me problems. Here we go. Okay. So once again, bead tip first, then the other end of the necklace. And now all we have to do is close this up. All right, and there we have it. And there you can see the clasp trying to grab onto my pliers. And we're done. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. So if you're a subscriber, you receive the January bargain bead box for $22.99. If you are not a member and you would like to purchase one, while supplies last, they will be on our store, beadboxbargains.com, for $29.99. And we do have free shipping in the USA. So yeah, thanks so much for joining us. I hope this was fun. This is kind of a fancier necklace than my last design, a little bit more, a little bit showier, I guess. But I really like the way that you can use bail beads as an easy option to add a second strand to a single strand design. Again, thank you for joining us, and feel free to like and subscribe. We will have some more videos for you soon. Happy beading! Do you see my pattern error here? We have a 4mm round on this side. We do not have one over here. I'm gonna go drink more coffee and I'll be restringing this. Have a great day.